Good morning. It's 7:03 on this Thursday, July 16th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome a Thursday morning, and we're glad to have you with us. Another hot one going for us, and we're on the air for Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon. Paul and Ronnie are both here this morning. Paul Tubbs is the dealer operations manager. Ronnie Kelly, been in sales for over 30 years. 33 is what we're counting. Anyway, good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ronnie, how are you?
Doing fine. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, It's a good old summertime.
Yeah, it's great summer day.
And Paul, I know you always got a lot on your mind, but things sound like been going really well for you.
Going great. Everything's kind of moving along. We went through the great Bronco reservation Monday night. Ford opened up where they're bringing back the Bronco, and there was reservations, and that has been a huge hit. So we've been kind of dealing with that. We actually had 32 reservations as of yesterday afternoon, so it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, it's something that's being brought back, and a lot of nostalgia, I guess, is involved with this, which makes it even better.
Yeah, and it was kind of first, there was so much attention to it that the site, Ford's actual site, went down, and I was getting emails Monday night. I was actually at the baseball park. My little one was playing at Lebanon Youth Baseball. And then so I come home, and I always throw my phone in my bag when I'm coaching baseball, and I come home, grab my phone out, and I look, and there's about 10 text messages and missed calls where everybody's trying to get their Bronco reserved, and the site was down, but Ford worked through it, and we was able to get it. And actually, as Bates Ford, as of yesterday, 32 people's reserved Broncos, and they'll be out in 2021 spring.
Now, you're talking about these are 32 people who want to purchase
Correct.
One of those new Broncos.
Yeah, there's 2-door, there's a 4-door. They're on. You can go to Ford.com, and you can look, and there's a lot of people that's locally, that business people and stuff in the community that's contacted me that's reserved them a Bronco. You got 2 doors, 4 doors, and then you got a Bronco Sport. There's 3 options. So Ford's coming back out 2021 spring. You'll see Broncos hitting the road.
That is wild, and 32.
It was crazy. Tony Bates called me on Monday evening after, I think it was 7:30, 8 o'clock when I got back from the ballpark, and was like, hey, do you know any? I'm like, man, the site's down. He said he had probably 15 to 20 people contact him trying to see it because they couldn't get on the site to reserve theirs, but there was people jumping in line.
Wow. What do you think about that, Rod?
Well, it's great. I had a lady come in on Monday. She said, I want ready to get my Bronco, And on yesterday, I talked with Paul. There's a guy called in. He said, man, I tried to get online. I can't get it done. What I need to do? So reserve me one. I'll bring the money down there tomorrow.
Okay. But you've been busy otherwise, too.
Oh, swamped. Service department swamped. Like I was saying earlier, we've kind of outgrown our facility. We're just so busy. We've got cars stacked everywhere. Sales in the last week, we've sold 2 boats, 2 jet skis, a tractor. Anybody's got, Mr. Bates' theory, we'll trade for anything that don't eat. So if you got anything you want to bring down, certainly we'll step up and try to give you an offer.
Precedence does go to the car sales, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and that's the problem we got is getting inventory. Ronnie can tell you our new car line since the factories were shut down because of the virus. We're kind of limited, but we can get anything you want, but we are starting to trickle in some new vehicles.
Yeah. Well, your sales been pleasing?
Sales has been great. Right now, even on pre-owned cars, Mike had bought a few cars, and we can't get them shipped. And we got people right now waiting on those cars to come in. When Paul was talking about the tractor a while ago, our sales were going so smooth and fast. The guy that cut our grass, he came in and looked at that tractor, and he said, man, get the key, let me start it up. And I got the key, he started it up. He said, man, I want that tractor. And I went to the office, and Mike said, man, the tractor's already sold. Everything that, everybody that's coming in, they're like trucks. We don't have a lot of trucks. Guy walks in and says, hey, man, what about this truck? I've been everywhere looking for trucks. And he said, I'll be back to pick this truck up. So, man, we're selling stuff like crazy, We don't have time to. Mike was sitting down yesterday trying to buy vehicles, and our sales force was just coming in, and he just couldn't have time to do anything.
good problem
It's
to have.
a very good problem to have, but we're going to work through it. Like I said, we're starting to get some vehicles in, some new vehicles. We got a real pretty blue Mustang. It's a special edition Mustang in. We've got a couple of trucks in, a black on black Expedition, and they got some extra incentives and some really good rebates right now on Expeditions. Plus, Ford's actually give us some coupons to give customers that we can hand out to people that come to Bates and want to do one. Service is just absolutely booming. Yesterday, like I was telling you, we didn't stop from the time we got there. Oil changes, tires, it's a really good problem to have.
Still $24.95.
It's the cheapest oil change in town.
Oh, no doubt. Up to 5 quarts, $24.95 plus tax, of course.
That's it.
And if you got a car like mine, it may require an extra quart, cost a little more. But
It
that's
will,
okay.
$3.50 a quart.
Well, you have some great service there, and this oil change is really, like you said several times, you're really not making any money on that, but you
No.
are making a lot of friends.
It is, and then that's what we pride ourselves on.
Well, we're about to come to the end of our time here, but your hours are the same, and you do sell tires. We try to mention that.
They got the rebates are still back on the tires with if you use the Ford service card, which you get 6 months, same as cash, or 12 months, you get double the rebate. We got $140 rebate, so you can buy a set of tires and get a rebate for up to $140.
Well, sound like things are really going well, and it's a good old summertime. So come on down to Bates Ford, and they'll trade for anything and don't eat.
Thank you, sir.
All right. See y'all next week.
All right. Have a great
Bates
day.
Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon. Again, the dealer that'll trade for anything it don't eat. We are 10 minutes after the hour, and Jeff Baines, who is the Commissioner of Public Works, unless his title's a little bit different, but he provides us with somebody to talk to on the third Thursday of each month. And today is the 16th of July, and by the way, it is we are right smack dab in the middle. There's been 15 days before today in July. We got 15 more after today, so July the 16th, right in the middle of July. And we want to welcome Monica Souders, who is the wastewater treatment plant manager. Good morning.
Morning.
Good to see you again.
Yes.
And I hope things are going well for you. Tell you what, if it's going as well with everybody as it is with Bates Ford, that was great to hear. Scott McRae is here, and Scott, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you again. When you walked in, I said you're kind of a jack of all trades, and you have done several things for the city of Lebanon. And before that, you weren't you with the Boy Scouts?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You came out here and did some programs about that once upon a time.
Correct.
Yeah. And I know that you handled the census for Mayor Craighead a few years ago.
Very correct.
Actually, has it been that long?
2016.
Okay. Oh, special.
That was a special census. Now we're in the middle of the actual
There
census.
we
and,
go. Okay.
Hey, everybody needs to sign up, get your census in. It helps the city.
Right. I did that a long time ago. You're the data coordinator.
Correct.
What does that mean?
Well, we take a look at what is out there that could help the city better manage certain processes. Some of it is ongoing. Some of it is special projects. I've done special projects within that role, and also setting up collection and analysis of data that could help better function. Monica's our plant manager, and she came in well over a year ago now, and she's collecting data to be able to operate the plant more efficiently, bring costs down, and take care of what needs to be done at that plant in a more economical manner.
Well, we're always glad to hear that we can do something for less money and being fiscally responsible, as we say. Any particular thing you want to say about that as we start here this morning?
Well, I think if we do our job right, you don't even know we exist. And so that's kind of one of our objectives, is to manage the wastewater as best we can without everyone knowing we're there. And so we're maintaining the plant, going through, doing life cycle cost, looking at the life of all the equipment. And then the other thing that Scott does for us, he's also our pre-treatment coordinator. And so our role does involve getting out to our industries and making sure that what they discharge, that we can treat before it goes out to the creek. And we look at that, we're officially the regulator in that role, but we look at it as a collaborative relationship with our industries. We like to kind of, pool our technical resources there to find solutions for them and for us for the treatment of that water that's cost effective for everybody.
What are some of the biggest problems that you face to have everything going like it's supposed to go?
Well,
everybody doesn't either know or cooperate maybe as fully as they could. I know that.
Absolutely. It was very tough for us following the tornado and COVID and the stay-at-home rules because everybody started flushing everything. We had some major pumps plug up and break after that. And so we say, one, if it doesn't come out of you and it's not toilet paper, don't put it down the toilet. We call it the 3 Ps, and I don't want to get too graphic on the radio, but, that's as kind of the dirtiest talk we'll do today is, if it's not poop, pee, or paper, don't put it down there. The system is not designed to handle it.
And to elaborate on that, flushable wipes. You go into the store and it says flushable wipes. There's discussion with the manufacturers whether to use that or not because they're really not flushable. Those shouldn't even go down. And people see that, they drop it, and it wreaks havoc on the system.
So it really causes you problems.
Absolutely. They do not break down. They come into the system. We have a trash screen that's 30 feet down underground. And it'll blind over that screen, and then if it does ultimately make it through, it'll get into a pump and plug up a pump. And we've got a wonderful crew that works there at the plant, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they'll have to dig in there, with their hands and clean all that out, and then we pull it out. And right after the tornado, we take that material out of the waste, put it in the trash, and send it off to the landfill. Our trash volume was 10 times what it normally is.
Wow.
But let's look at this in the bigger picture, though. What comes in goes out. And if it is not cleaned, it goes to our river. And it cannot go to the river in a state that is not safe or healthy. So that puts a burden on our team to make sure that it goes to the river safe, clean, and healthy. Look at the plant as an ecosystem. There's bugs in there that clean it up, eat whatever just comes in, digest it, clean it, and send it to the river clean. And when you've got intrusions, such as the wipes or other things that are causing those troubles, it doesn't function properly.
The wipes the biggest thing.
The wipes are the biggest thing that come down the trash.
So really what you're saying here, there's really no such thing as there's no wipe that you should flush.
And the other thing is people are using those hand sanitizer wipes, and those are coming in at a higher rate. So that's another wipe.
So don't flush them either.
Nothing other than what you normally
Or
would.
unless it's toilet paper.
Bingo.
No other wipe or paper or whatever you should flush.
It's good for the environment, and it's good for the cost, because when you do that, it costs money taxpayer money to correct and fix those issues. So let's look at it for the positive for the people here and the taxpayers, and for the environment at our river.
If you don't want to be paying more for your sewer, do it the right way.
There
That's
you go.
right.
I like that. You just coined a good phrase.
All right, let's take our break right here. More coming up here on Coleman & Company FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. All lanes are back open here on 24 eastbound at OHB here in Antioch from that terrible wreck that happened earlier this morning. So traffic's starting to flow along a lot better here as you leave Nashville headed out to Murfreesboro. Of course, the heaviest flow is coming the other direction on 24 westbound out of Rutherford County. It's starting to get busy now 40 east through Mount Juliet, wrapping up that crash 3800 block of Murfreesboro Pike. For the perfect getaway just outside Gatlinburg, check out Cosby Creek Cabins. Log on to CosbyCreekCabins.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday morning. We have Monica Souders. And then if you wonder how her name is spelled, I think I've got it right. Sowders.
Yes.
Souders. Monica Souders. Tell us a little bit about you. You haven't been here too long. What have you done before you came to Lebanon?
Well, I've been in the mining industry, and I did waste to energy. That's kind of how I found out about Lebanon. So I used to manage waste energy facilities from, Utah to Alabama, and so this was a wonderful opportunity for me to get off the road. The year that I had my youngest child, I was on the road 306 nights in a hotel room. Oh. That was an exciting year. So it's been a great opportunity to be here at Lebanon. We have a lot of really talented people that work for the city. The community is a great place to raise my kids. So I'm really thrilled to be here. And, when I looked around I knew it was time to get off the road, and, I was looking around for different opportunities. And when I looked around, I looked at cities about this size, municipalities about this size, and Lebanon, over the last 30 years, has done a tremendous job of managing its growth. Mm-hmm. Very smart. I mean, I've had the opportunity to work with and see a lot of different municipalities across the United States, and Lebanon's one of the better managed and better smart growth facilitated. And so I'm just happy to be here, have that opportunity.
Well, we get our water for the city out of the Cumberland River. Mm-hmm. And then we use it, and we flush and all of it, but it has to be cleaned up and put back in. There are certain specifications that have to be met for what goes back into the Cumberland River, actually, right?
Correct.
And a lot of that's what we're talking about here this morning. Apparently, we have a good sewer system and all of this, but what we really need, from what we've talked about so far, is the cooperation of everybody. And maybe this is a good educational opportunity here this morning to just remind people again, the 3 Ps. And as you said, if it doesn't come out of your body or toilet paper, you don't put it in the toilet. And if everybody would do that, you wouldn't have to worry about these wipes, even though they may say flushable, they're really not. And disinfectant wipes, other things. And when you had an influx of them recently, when everybody started staying at home, it really caused some problems, as you explained earlier. So again, please don't do that. Just do as instructed here, and your service is going to be better. And chances are we won't have to have sewer increases because of extra problems that you caused. Okay, now one other thing we could talk about here. Your treatment plant is out on Hartman Drive.
Hartman Drive, yes.
And there has been some issues with odor, maybe in the past. And I think, Monica, you have addressed that.
Well, I will own the odor that we created over the Christmas week. Odor tends to be stronger and more of it created during the heat season. The bugs, as they're dying out there, they stink. So contrary to everybody's belief, your stuff really does stink. So, but if we manage that and keep that kind of in the tanks, we can minimize that amount of odor. Mm-hmm. So, it was like I said, odor is the worst when it's hottest, and then also it travels further in the summer season because of the longer days and carries further in the atmosphere. So we plan to do a project over the late December, early January, because it's supposed to be cold that time of year, right?
Yeah.
And as you might recall, we had a record heat wave when everyone was home on Christmas break, and we stunk up the whole town because we had pulled all of that old sludge out, and we're doing a one-time clean out project. And so but what it allowed us to do is put some units into better service and to fix those so that, knock on wood, you shouldn't have smelled the plant now in the last 6 months. And we'll continue working in that direction. So if anyone ever does have any odor complaints, let us know, because that's a sign that something's not right. Free to give us a call anytime at the plant and tell us so. But
One of the things we've been dealing with, you mentioned this earlier, we've had growth, but apparently we've been able to adapt to the growth fairly well as far as our wastewater treatment and all of this goes. Are there certain problems or challenges in that direction right now, or are we in good shape, really?
We have a team, an engineering team, Regina and her team, that looks at all of that new growth as it comes in, and they do a phenomenal job of evaluating what the collection system can handle coming in. And that's why they review every subdivision before it's tied on for capacity, as we call it. The changes that we're making to the treatment plant itself are helping expand that capacity so that we don't have to, hopefully anytime in the near future, expand the plant or significantly invest outside of just routine maintenance and, maintaining that.
How many people are involved in this treatment part?
At the treatment plant, I think we have 14 employees there. We will have an opening here soon. We've had a lot of retirements, and it's a great career field. I mean, it's kind of recession proof. So we have some young gentlemen who've just joined us, and then we have some very experienced folks, and it's really neat to watch kind of the more experienced folks training and mentoring the younger folks.
Well, speaking of challenges, and I think, Scott, you alluded to this a little bit earlier, back with the tornado and then with the COVID-19. Anything you want to address there that's... Now, of course, one of the big things was the wipes that people started throwing in the toilet, which they shouldn't do, and that caused a problem. But has there been others besides that?
Oh, yeah. There were multiple hits from different angles. For one example is a lot of electrical surges. The wind wasn't as much the problem for the plant. I mean, that was a factor, especially those straight line winds, but the electrical surges wreaked havoc on several of the systems, including, let's go back to where we started, making sure we get clean water out to the river, the disinfectant system. And you would go, oh my gosh, if that thing goes, we're in big trouble. Monica had a backup plan in place, and the city of Lebanon had a backup plan in place. They made some adjustments, and they treated it a little differently for a temporary time, and that system is now being evaluated. And the real nice thing is the team, Monica, Jeff, and Regina, and the whole team got together and they evaluated what was caused by the tornado and caught a lot of it under insurance. So major problems are shifted temporarily, but in the process, within the next 3 to 6 months, many systems will be replaced that were electrically or otherwise damaged by the tornado and or COVID related incidents.
Okay,
Saving the taxpayers' money.
we are all for that, and our health, and the environment that is a big concern, obviously, and I suppose as the years have come on, we've improved in that area, in that direction.
You mean the health and the environment, or the public health? Well, I mean, the wastewater plant exists to protect public health and to protect the environment. And having that is one of the key things also that helps our economic growth, because industries look for the ability to tie on to a sewer system. And it also helps with residential growth because it allows us to have a little bit higher density. And the technology of wastewater treatment has not evolved that much in the last 50 years. It's a biological process. As Scott mentioned, it's an ecosystem out there, and we're bug herders. We kind of make all of our bugs, keep them happy. We feed them some food, and they do their job. But we are very highly regulated as well. So what's monitored what goes out to the stream is monitored, and we test it on a daily basis. And we make sure that we aren't sending too many nutrients to the stream, so that there aren't algae problems like you might have heard of in Lake Erie and places like that. So.
So really, we've got a good thing going here, and we're taking care of it, and so far meeting the challenges that have been presented.
Yes.
And well, we still are on a growth pattern, but it sounds like, as far as wastewater treatment, especially, that we are ahead of the curve here. Would you say that?
I would say that, it's very well planned and very well thought out. Our sewer line runs all the way down the 840 corridor to the Speedway. So outside of the city limits, and that is, helpful for growth, kind of.
And it's one of those things the average person. I mean, I don't think about this much, as long as
very good.
Good. As long as you can flush and there's not a problem, you don't. Even,
that's the way we like it.
Yeah, and it's pretty much your job to keep it that way as much as you can.
Yes.
Yeah. You as a data coordinator. Scott, that keep you pretty occupied.
It has, it's a new type of process that Monica and Jeff were setting up, and they merged me into that. And several times they've come to me and said, "Hey, can you grab this bit of data, coordinate it, and tell us what is happening with that particular aspect of our operations?" And it's really changed some things for them to be able to see in a very close microscopic environment what is going on, as well as I said earlier, the ongoing processes that we're managing through watching, collecting, and better managing for the environment and for the taxpayers, because it reduces cost.
Well, we are in our final minute, and I think we might end sort of as we started this morning, and that is you've got a clean water plant, and the three P's, only flush if it comes out of your body, or it's toilet paper. And if people, that sounds so simple, but do not flush these wipes. There's really no such thing as a flushable wipe. That's the message this morning. Don't put the wipes in the toilet. What comes out of your body and toilet paper, and that's it. And if you do that, we're going to have some happy campers all over the city, right?
And if you
Absolutely.
summarize that,
And no grease.
no grease. If you summarize that,
No
you
grease.
think,
No.
No grease.
You hear of it as a wastewater plant, but it really is a clean water plant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you all for being with us this morning. Monica Souders and Scott McRae. And that's it for part one of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota and Rental Exmark. Large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. #1 selling brand, bought 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. It's still running slow here on 24 eastbound as you approach OHB from that earlier wreck that happened earlier this morning. Just give yourself extra time to be on the safe side as you leave Nashville, headed out towards Murfreesboro. Coming the other direction, that's still very heavy as well through the Hickory Hollow area on 24 going westbound. Here comes some traffic down past the airport through Hermitage, Donaldson on I-40 going west. A Barnes Music City Soul Food is now open behind the Bank of America on Nolensville Pike at OHB. Log on to barsmusiccitysoulfood.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So, what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
It's all about taking care of you, and THW Insurance will do just that. Are you looking for home or auto insurance? THW represents Westfield Insurance and other fine companies. Together, we will protect you and your family. Call Al DeAndrea at 615-547-5530 or stop in and see him.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and with all the craziness going on in the community right now, Bates Ford is still here to serve you. We've got some great deals, oil change specials for $28.95 for up to 5 quarts. We will pick up and deliver your vehicle, whether it's for sales or service. On the sales end, we've got 0 interest for 72 months and 6 months deferred payment. So give us a call at Bates Ford, 615-444-8221. Bates Ford, the dealer that will trade for anything that don't eat.
Today's showers and storms are in the forecast. A few storms could be severe, with gusty winds being the main threat. Highs today will top out in the low 90s. On Friday, more showers and storms will move in, so make sure to pack the rain gear. Temperatures for Friday reach the low 90s. The weekend does look to dry out. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Thursday morning. I'll tell you what, time is flying by, but the sun is shining, and we've got Heather Sadler on the phone to talk about the Pavilion Senior Living. Heather, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope that you're feeling well and everything's fine at the Pavilion.
It is our COVID update. That's our new normal right now. We are still completely negative. So even amongst the spike around us, we are still negative in all our communities. So that feels like an accomplishment. But we're still staying as diligent as we can on our staff and our residents and vendors and no visitors and that type of thing. So.
Yeah, it's been we're talking about particularly April, May, and June, and half of July now, and a little time in March there. So almost 4 months that we've been in this situation, and that can that can be hard to deal with. But I know you've tried to make it fun, tried to cheer people up, and maybe gone out of your way for your people there at the pavilion to have to deal with the situation in the most positive way possible.
Well, my favorite creative moment we've got to have is if they move in during the pandemic, we have to do isolation, and so we changed that to vacation-olation, a little vacation and isolation mixed. So we have done, their favorite milkshakes, their favorite meal. We do room service. We've done gift bags of their favorite things. And then the very last day they get a little parade to come out around the community and walk around and see everybody. So that's trying to make lemonade out of some lemons there.
Yeah.
But we are still admitting residents into our rehab. We have to do it very carefully with the proper test, and then they have to have isolated rooms and for so long. So we've definitely had to work around a lot of things, but we are still admitting. And then our assisted living, believe it or not, we've got several families that are utilizing our respite services right now because they've got other things planned, and their loved one can't get out as normal and the normal stuff that we're used to. So we're definitely able to offer our services even amongst the pandemic to seniors for sure.
And so far, I think you're COVID free. You're telling me, and that of course is good news.
We are. Our staff does weekly testing for COVID, so our staff are going through the ringer for sure because they're having to be tested every week right now.
Well, by the way, if somebody interested in respite care, they can go to your website, www.thepavilionseniorliving.com. Of course, they can always call you at 615-444-5556. And it's good to know that you still can offer that, because every once in a while somebody kind of gets in a bind, or they just need to get away for a while, and then this is a change for the person that they're going to bring to you. It can be, I guess, a week or two, or however long you would have respite care, but that's a change for everybody, really, and hopefully a healthy and beneficial one.
Well, it's also used for a trial. Some people that want to try us out, we do that. And then it's also used if let's say a loved one of theirs is caring for them and they've had a fall or they've had surgery or they've got a life event that they can't do what they normally can do for a period of time. So that's kind of where all that comes in. And our passion is caring for seniors. However we can help, we're going to do that.
We haven't mentioned your location other than 1409 Medical Center Drive. I'm not even sure I said that before, but for those of you who are not familiar with the pavilion, it is really north of Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And if you're going to the emergency room at the hospital, don't take a left there. Go one more block, take a left, and you'll find the pavilion down there on the right. And that's a around the world way of telling you where it is, but I think most people identify with the hospital and just one street past, and you're really easy to find.
I think we're pretty easy to find. Of course, we utilize Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital as our landmark for sure.
Right. Well, anything you want to say before we let you go this morning?
Well, I have to tell y'all that my little girl, Sophie, turns 6 tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
So she is on cloud 9. That's her birthday. And so we're gonna celebrate a 6-year-old and with every unicorn we can find. And So we're very excited. So if you see us around, y'all have to tell Sophie happy birthday.
Well, let me just say it now. Sophie, happy birthday tomorrow. How's that?
That sounds good.
All right. Heather, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
That is Heather Sadler. She's the marketing director for the Pavilion Senior Living in Lebanon. We are 21 and a half before the hour. Larry Tomlinson is here and is paying for his time this morning, I'll say, candidate for re-election to the school board. And Larry, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Before we get started, I want to mention two things real quickly here.
Okay.
And one is the free milk distribution at
Yes.
the Ag Center. They're giving away gallons of milk, and it's free from 9 to 12 or as long as the supply lasts, and this is the Dairy Alliance that's doing that. The other thing I wanted to mention, the death of Brownie Hall. His funeral is today. I think you knew Brownie fairly well, and I've worked with him, and we did mention this earlier this week, Monday, I guess it was, when we got the word, but his funeral is at 3 o'clock today at First Baptist Church, and visitation is 12 to 3 prior to. And if I had one word, I guess, to describe Brownie Hall, I would say excellence. Brownie, anytime when he was out selling, he looked superb. He dressed magnificently. Excellence was his way of life. He was a great salesperson.
He was that, and you're exactly right about Brownie and how he carried himself. He always Coleman. I had the opportunity to coach Brownie whenever First Baptist Church had a softball team, and Brownie was part of that team, and we always called him Cat Hall, and and we and not being boastful or bragging or anything, but we had a very good team, and we played all over the country. We played in the South and some in the East, and was very good. Was good. Had the chance to play in the World Series a time or two, and Brownie was always a big part of that. And I used to think about Brownie and Wayne Baines, and Brownie and Wayne, they both were always real neat and clean looking, and we could play a game, and it didn't look like that they had ever had a hair out of place, or they never got their uniform clean, but they always gave you a great effort. And I was sorry, Brownie has fought that battle for about 6 years, I think, and it's ironic. He had a brother or half brother that just died here about 3 weeks ago, and Butch Allen, who was a personal friend of mine too. And my condolences to his family and all of his friends. And I know that the boys over there at his insurance agency are really going to miss him and what he brought to the table.
Right. Well, just wanted to mention that and pay our respects in this way to him and his family this morning.
I think that on talking about the milk giveaway there, I think I saw that brochure, and it said something about you didn't even have to get out of your vehicle. Right. They place it in your trunk. Well, I tell you one thing, you better not leave it in your truck very long. it won't be fitting to drink when you get home with it. So you keep that in mind.
All right. Well, we deviated a little bit on the start here, but you're here to talk about your candidacy for re-election. You're a member of the school board and have been 2 terms?
Well, last time around it's been 2 terms. Right. I was served for a while before that and got off, and I've always felt like that you kind of know where you're at in your career, and whenever it's time to make a move or to step back from something. But then I got back on it again, and it's been a real enjoyable experience.
And you've been serving as chairman for a while.
I am
as well.
I am the chairman.
You bought this time today. Early voting starts tomorrow, and you wanted to be here about early voting time. And one more time to remind people of why you think you ought to be allowed to continue serving on the board, and I guess continue serving as chairman.
Well, serving of the chairman, Coleman, that's a position that's elected by your peers, and if they ask you to do that and you agree to do that, then they take a vote, and whoever gets the most votes is the ones elected as a chairman. And I have been willing to do that, and I think the people that I serve with, for the most part, appreciate what I've done and understand that and see how the day-to-day operations goes. And Coleman, it's not easy sitting up there and chairing a meeting, and being the chairman, sometimes you're restricted from saying things that you probably really want to say, because you've got to keep control of the meeting and take the high road. And that's what I have tried to do. Sometimes, and I've told this to some of my fellow board members, sometimes, I feel like I might be a little more effective if I wasn't the chairman. I could rear back in my chair and I could beat my chest and say things that I probably can't say because there's a certain responsibility that goes with that position, and it has to be honored.
What do you think are the issues here? You have a challenger, of course, and it's between the two of you. The voters have to make that decision starting tomorrow, and then, of course, Election Day is August the 6th. So you've got, 3 weeks to the election, I believe.
Something like that.
Have to get the count out and counted here.
Yeah.
But anyways, not far away. Early voting does start tomorrow, and a lot of people will vote early.
I think you'll see more people voting early now than you ever have before because of the climate that we're living in today. And people, this election has changed. It's different from any that I've ever run before because you have to respect people's wanting to be home. They're not wanting to be out among a lot of people. And so you had to respect that decision and not go knocking on doors and shaking hands and looking people in the eye to eye. And that's what I've always been able to do in the past, and something that I pride myself on. I feel like you can do. People get a lot of better feel about you when they can look at you, and they see, what's, most of the time, whatever comes out of your mouth is what's in your heart, and it's good for people to see you and hear what you stand for and what you believe in. I'm here today to talk about the successes that we've had, especially for the last 8 years here in Wilson County Schools. And I thought that the lady that was just here from the city of Lebanon, she said something that she probably didn't even realize that was very important. But she talked about how that she'd traveled all over the country and how many days of the year that she'd been on the road, and the time came in her life that she was ready to settle down. And she looked for a place that was going to fit her needs. And she chose to come to Lebanon and to Wilson County. You have real estate agents that come on your show weekly or monthly, whatever. And the Coleman, they'll say the same thing. They'll say, we've got people calling us interested in moving here, trying to find a place to live. And a lot of them tell us, we chose to come here because we've done our research and we found out how good the school system was. Mm-hmm. That speaks volumes. Coleman, you don't have to dwell on the negatives. Be positive in what you do. And our school system has had a lot of success. And there's been things that are said that about how much money we spend. We do spend a lot of money. Our budget's like $160 million. About the bricks and mortar and that kind of stuff. We're not building these schools just because we want to. We're building them because we need them. We have to have them. We would be in a terrible shape right now if we hadn't built Green Hills High School. With the tornado damage that we had, if we hadn't have had that building that we could move some people around, utilize that building with 2 different schools, just think where we would be, how many portable classrooms that we would have had to set up somewhere just to make sure that our boys and girls got to school. Now, it's easy to make decisions when things are good, when the money's flowing good, the taxes are coming in good, the projections are better than what, what the outcome is better than what your projections might be. It's easy to make decisions whenever that's going on. We're in a time right now that it's unprecedented, not only in Wilson County, but across this country, as to what we're going to do about reopening schools. And Coleman, it's important to the people of Wilson County, not just in Zone 5, but that's where my focus is on Zone 5. And I'm going to do everything that I can to see that the people, the boys and the girls and the parents and the taxpayers of Zone 5 are looked after and protected, and that their money is spent wisely. There's talk about the county commission And I know you've had people on your show before and they've said, well, there's not any trust between the county commission and the Board of Education. That's not true, Coleman. There may be some of them up there that don't like what we do as a school system. It's more personal than it is about how we do in business, But I say that to say this. If there wasn't a majority of the commissioners up there that approved of what we were doing, we wouldn't get a budget. We wouldn't be able to do anything because that's where our funding comes from. They give it to us. We spend it as we feel is necessary. But I think we have a good relationship with the county commission. I sit in their shoes. I served 3 terms as a county commissioner back in the younger days. And I know what they go through, and I know how that they have to follow their budget process. And it's harder now than it probably ever has been for them to to do that. But it's a group effort. We all have to work together, and I think that I probably know those commissioners better than anybody. Most of them. Some of them I don't know very well because they just got on there lately. But the ones that have been there for a long time and the ones that I've known that are my age, I think I've got a pretty good relationship with them. I think I can talk to them. They know that they can talk to me anytime they have a problem or they have a question. They can come to us and they can get the answer that they need. Now, sometimes people don't choose to do that, and you can't make them.
We got to take a break right here. Larry Tomlinson is here. We'll talk more in a moment on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:50. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental Exmark. Large inventory of Exmark mowers for homeowners and commercial users. #1 selling brand, bought 2-to-1 over any other commercial mower brand. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Morning, finally looking a little bit better here on 24 eastbound through Antioch up by OHB, where earlier an hour ago it was a nightmare, but again that's looking so much better. Traffic starting to get busy down Ellington Parkway. Here comes that traffic in from Dixon County on I-40 coming through Kingston Springs, and we're checking on an accident 65 southbound ramp there to Briley Parkway in East Nashville. Bar's Music City Soul Food is now open behind the Bank of America on Nolensville Pike at OHB. Log on to barsmusiccitysoulfood.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
Caring for a loved one is as natural as the weather. But just like the weather, one moment it's sunny and the next you find yourself in the middle of a storm. So when it came time to take care of my dad, I knew I needed help. A reprieve from the storm, so to speak. That's when I found the Pavilion Senior Living. They have expertise and experience to weather the storms in your loved one's life. And now I can rest easy. Thank you, Pavilion Senior Living. You should visit thepavilionseniorliving.com to find out more.
Coleman & Company, Larry Tomlinson is here this morning. He's paying for time to talk about his candidacy for re-election to the Board of Education. So let's pick up where we left off.
Well, we got in a little bit about the funding from the county commission, and I appreciate the what they do for us and what they have done for us since I've been on the school board, and even when I was a commissioner myself. I was on the education committee, and I think we had a good relationship back then. But I'm here today to talk about our teachers and our students and our staff and the positive things that we have done. And people sometimes they say, well, you want to talk about your successes, and successes is not necessarily whatever it might be, but success is the accomplishment of one's desire to do the things the right way and to maintain and to meet their goals. And that's what I've always tried to do. I want our system to be successful, and it has been. We, Coleman, we're in the top 5% in achievement and growth in the state of Tennessee. And that speaks highly for a district ours as big as ours. But we're also in the lower 5% as far as per pupil expenditure goes. Now, the funds keep being cut by the state and the BEP funds. They go down. They've been going down every year for the last several years based on our ability to pay. Wilson County is a prosperous county, and they take all that into effect. And as that all takes into effect, then our portion of the state funds continue to go down. We get money from the state and the federal government both, and plus what our county commission gives. The commission makes up about 60. Our portion of the county commission of the county's budget is about a little over 60%. So a whole lot of money that's collected in Wilson County is going to the school system, and I think we've been good stewards of that. And by saying that, we have been able. Our teachers have done a tremendous job of taking the resources that they've got to achieve the success that they've had in the classroom, which is rolled over and carried over to the recognition of what Wilson County have and should be proud of their school system. The board's responsibility is to set policy and make policy, and to give the director, whoever it is, their support to achieve the goals that we want to reach. And I think we've done that. And it starts at the top with good leadership. I'm not talking about the board chairman. I'm talking about the person that's in charge of the day-to-day operations of the school and the people that they, in this case, it's Dr. Donna Wright, the people that she has surrounded herself with, the staff that she's put together, and the hard work that they do, and how that they have taken that message and that work ethic. Our teachers are bought into it. And I know a few years ago, I heard Dr. Wright challenge her teachers to get to know your students. Know your students. Find out everything about them that you can. And when you do that, you'll see success. And that's how we have done that. And we had a sales tax referendum, and the people got behind that, passed that, and the money that will be taken in from that sales tax will go to teacher salaries. It's in a line item in the budget. It says that. I asked that be done. I asked it to be put in the budget that way, in a separate line item where that it would always be there for anybody that wanted to see it. That's how much money is going toward teacher salaries. And plus, our teachers, a few years ago, we implemented something called the level of effectiveness. And I'm proud to say this. A large percentage, just about probably 80% or more, of our teachers are either level 4s or 5s, and that's the highest you can get. Level 5 is the highest rated that you can get, and I'm very proud of that. I haven't taught a class. I hadn't coached a ball game. They have done this themselves, but I have been there to support them and give them the resources that they need to be successful.
Do you think there's some people might be misled by things that are put on social media, could easily be distracted because of some of the comments that have been made? Yes, I think that's very possible. And in social media, I guess was intended to be a good thing, but I tell you what it also has done. It's given a platform to some people that wouldn't have the courage to stand up and look at you and say some of the things about you that they do. And it's not only in this election. I mean, not only in Wilson County, it's across this great country we live in. People say things about people, and they've used that platform that was probably whenever, I can't think of the guy's name, that founded Facebook, but I don't think he ever thought that there would probably be people that would use it as a platform that they're using it for today. Yeah. Well, we've got about 2.5 minutes. You've got a lot of notes here. I doubt you've covered everything, but
I hadn't got nowhere close to covering everything. I may have to buy another segment, Coleman. I am proud of where we're at as a school district, and the small part that I've played in it. We have a good board. For the most part, we all work together. We've got tough decisions coming up here in the next few days. We'll be meeting tonight in a special call meeting to discuss with Dr. Wright the reopening plan there may be some changes that, from what she presented to us, a week ago, 2 weeks ago when it was. And because it's a moving target, it changes every day. Right now, our goal is to open up school on August the 3rd. That could change.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it will or not, but it could. But Coleman, during these unprecedented times that we're seeing now, it's more important than ever to have somebody that's got some knowledge and experience and that can help navigate through these challenging waters that we're facing today. Not just the pandemic. We got 2 schools that's got to be rebuilt. At the Mount Juliet Middle School and Stoner Creek Elementary. We got to hire a director of schools. Dr. Wright's contract is up in June of 21. And so that will be a challenge for whoever comes to the board in the next year to find somebody to take her position, take her place, and carry on what the goals and things that she has established for us. Coleman, I don't have an agenda. If I do have an agenda, it's this. It's to see that every boy and girl in Wilson County receive the best education that they can possibly have, regardless of where they live, what zip code they're in, all over Wilson County. And I think that that's the only goal that I have. That's the reason I'm running. It's not about power. It's not about prestige. I don't know that there's any power there to start with. Some people may want to think that there are, but if that's the reason that you're running, if you're gonna think you're gonna come in there and you're gonna make all kind of wholesale changes, that's not gonna happen because you've got too many rules and regulations that you have to abide by that's set down by the state and the federal government. What you got to be able to do is you got to be able to manage those things, and you got to be able to manage them in the right way. We have great teachers. We have excellent students that are achieving, producing in the classroom by the direction that they're getting from their teacher. We have a good support staff, which includes the Board of Education, that's giving our people the resources to achieve those goals. And we've got great success. And our outcomes are really good. And I have 3 or 4 sheets of notes here that I could go over with you and share with the people listening out there today. But this race is going to come down to one thing for the people of Zone 5. Do you want somebody that has the knowledge and the experience to get us through these times that we're in right now and see that our schools continue to move forward and be the best that they can be and take care of our boys and girls, which that has got to be our number one goal. Got to be. It's all it's about, Coleman, is seeing that our boys and girls and their families are afforded the best education that they can get in Wilson County. Put everything else aside. That's what it's about. And that's what the people in Zone 5 need to think about. Do you want somebody that's got the experience and the knowledge and the ability to do that, to work with the county commission, to work with the teachers? I've had a great relationship with our teachers, and I'm very proud of that. And Coleman, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today, although I am paying for it. And I could, I probably ought to buy 2 or 3 hours worth of time because I got a lot I'd like to say. But just, if early voting starts tomorrow. Whenever it comes time to select a candidate for School Board Zone 5, I would certainly appreciate you considering voting for Larry Tomlins.
Larry, thanks so much. We've gone over just a bit, but thanks for being here. And join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.